details is hella whack. We done been to hell and back. Nothing picture perfect, baby.
What is up, y'all? I really look a hot mess, and that's real life. Like, I really don't like coming in front of y'all like this, but if I'm gonna vlog, I gotta show the good, the bad, and the ugly, and today I'm doing that. So I'm making shredded beef enchiladas, so I'm gonna show you how I get this started. This is my roast I got from Whole Foods, and I didn't show y'all the prep, but I did salt and pepper it and seared it, and then I chopped up some onions and garlic. I also what did I do? Added a cup of chicken broth to it. So now I'm about to shred this up. Okay, y'all, so I took 2 forks and I shredded up my beef. Okay, and there's still liquid in there, and that's okay. You do not want to drain that. You want that to stay in. Also, I swear by this Kroger taco seasoning. I'm gonna use some of that and my enchilada sauce, and I'm just gonna dump it into this. I'm not gonna add water because there's still broth at the bottom of this roast, and it created its own flavor. You don't want this to taste like taco meat, but you do want those flavors, the paprika, the cumin, and all of those things that go into the taco flavor. And you want to add some enchilada sauce to kind of make it wet. This is my enchilada sauce. Now, you don't want to use this whole can because you need the sauce to coat the tortillas. But I'm going to start off with about 1/4 cup of sauce. And I don't measure. I kind of know how to do this. I've done it so many times. And don't be afraid to add more if you need. But I'm going to mix this up. I can't really do the one hand camera, but I'm gonna mix this up and then I'll show you what it looks like after I'm done mixing it well. You guys, I did end up adding about another 1/4 cup of the enchilada sauce, and I added a 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. Mind you, this is not on, even though I'm doing this on top of the stove. I took this meat completely out of the oven, so you do not have to heat this up on the stove while you're doing this, because it's going to go back into the oven. My next step is I am going to add about a 1/2 cup of sharp cheddar cheese to this mix. Here is my 1/2 cup of cheddar. Now, I like to use the block cheese and grate it myself. It just melts better and it tastes better. So I'm just going to dump that into my mixture. Now, it does not have to melt or get creamy because it's going to do that in the oven. This is just going to add it's going to actually make the meat kind of thicker and heartier and have that cheddar cheese. I love cheese, so anywhere I can add it, I will. Now, if you want to add green onions, olives to this, you can. I like to do that as a garnish to the top of my enchiladas. And if you guys hear any noise in the back, it's just my husband. He just got home and he's having a snack and he's eating crackers and stuff, so it's kind of loud. But yeah, I'm gonna and if you like it chunkier or more shredded, you can do it however you want. But I'm gonna show you how I prep the shells and get ready to wrap these up. These are my shells that I use to do my enchiladas in. These are the Don Poncho Golden Blend, and they're perfect because I like the durability of when I'm making enchiladas. I like that the flour shells hold together better, but I like the flavor of the corn better. So these are blended, and my husband like these, and I like them, and my kids, they don't care if they're flour or corn. But if you, this recipe does not have to go with these type of tortillas. You can use flour or corn. You can use whatever it is, low carb wraps, whatever it is that you want to do, you can use. I also have a can of black olives, and I have some green onions that I'm going to chop up. But the first thing that I want to do that's kind of crucial to this is to dip these in some hot oil. And you don't have to cook them to where they're burnt, but you want to kind of cook them where they're pliable and you heat it up and they're kind of a little crisp, and that makes for the sauce to adhere to your enchiladas and they don't become soggy, and it kind of opens up for the sauce to kind of soak into the tortillas. So that is a part that you do not want to skip. And you don't need like a grip of oil. You just need like a shallow pan of oil, and you're just gonna do that. So I have a pretty big family. Also, when you're making things like this, I don't know how many enchiladas is gonna make, but if there's extra more than what we need, I bought these from the Dollar Tree today. I'm gonna freeze them, or you know, just keep another pan in the refrigerator for them to heat up for tomorrow, whatever it be. But I didn't have any of these in hand. I do have a big black pan that I cook my enchiladas in, but I just bought these for extra just in case I made too many or we needed to freeze some. So just wanted to have some of these on hand. Excuse me, this is just garlic from when I did cook the roast and seasoned it. I did chop up some garlic and onion, and I roasted it along with the broth into the pan. And that was a 4-pound roast. I don't think I told you guys that. And it cooked for about 3 hours. 2.5 maybe. Yeah, 2.5. Now I have cleaned, make sure you clean your green onions and wash them, because these green onions were so dirty. I also chopped my own olives. We like olives, except my middle son. He doesn't really like olives, so that's that. My husband is grating cheese, and he's washing his hands now, but that ain't gonna be enough. So I'm gonna have him grate one more block. And I got the oil going. Let me show y'all. Oil going for the tortillas. Y'all, I got my tortillas in there, and I put too much oil. You don't even need this much. But let me get my tongs, flip it over. About 30 seconds on each side, I would say. And then I'm gonna stack this on a plate, and once I have them all done, I'm gonna show you how I assemble. I don't have no paper towels, but y'all get the point. Okay, y'all, this is what we looking like. I fried up 16 of the tortillas. I got my meat, so I'm gonna split it in half, and then I'm gonna take 8 from that side and 8 from that side so that it'll be more even. I got my veggies and my cheese, and we about to go at it. I am going to take and use both of these. I know I said I would freeze, but it's just more easier. I know I can get 8 rolled enchiladas in here, and I can get 8 in there. So, and these are clean too, so I'm gonna pour some sauce at the bottom. Make sure you do that. And I'm gonna say this is about a 1/4 cup of sauce at the bottom, okay? Okay. And next, I'm gonna take my tortilla and roll it in that. And it doesn't have to be perfect. That's perfect for me. And then I'm gonna get a spoon, a tablespoon, and I'm gonna measure out the meat. A tablespoon is not gonna work. I want about 8 spoons of this. So, and I'm sure there's 8 spoons. So this goes down in here and roll it up and do it all over again. So you guys, this worked out perfectly, and the little extra beef that I did had, I just spread it over the top of the enchiladas. Next, I am going to add a light layer of cheese, and I took about To me, that's light. Because you still want to see through the enchilada. Just about a half of a cup. Okay. Then I'm going to take the remainder of the sauce and drizzle it over. Because you don't want them too wet. Because then your shells will be, they'll be gummy. And so I'm gonna use the remainder of that. Sorry, y'all. I gotta get used to like paying attention to what the frame of the camera shows and what I have now. And my hands are a little wet. Doing this one hand. Take the green onions and go all over. I had about a half of a cup of green onions. We like onions, so I'm gonna put olives on this whole pan. And I'm only gonna put olives on 2/3 of this because my middle son, he doesn't eat olives. So got 3 enchiladas for him. Y'all, and that looks delicious, but we are gonna go back in and cover this up with more cheese. We are cheese lovers. You can never have enough cheese, especially when you're eating Mexican and Italian food. You can never have enough. And you can use as much cheese. Some people might not want this much cheese. This recipe is totally adaptable, and you can do this with chicken. I've used chicken. I've used leftover you know, chicken, whatever it is, leftover roast, whatever you have, pork. Next, I'm going to add foil to this, and I'm gonna put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Everything's cooked, so we just want this to heat through and just relax and marry and melt and get together. So once that's done, I might come back and show you the finished product. These have been in for 30 minutes. I took off the foil and I'm gonna let it go for another 6 minutes uncovered. Y'all, here are the finished product of my shredded beef enchiladas. They look perfect. You can add a salad to this, some Spanish rice, some refried beans. You can do this vegan too. You can make, well, vegetarian. You can use beans. But this is a simple recipe that I thought I would show y'all. I hope y'all try it. And I will wait about 5 minutes before I plate it up. But I might plate it up and show y'all. We're just gonna serve this up with some lettuce. My son, he doesn't like tomatoes, so this is his. Look at all that goodness. Yum.
Cloak. I'm your king, you help me build this castle up. You my queen, I knew I couldn't pass you up.